Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another podcast. So, we have lost count of episode number already, but we are still recording podcast. With me is Mr. Siva, aka my father.
Hi everyone. Let's see
So,
where it goes this time, Krishna.
yes, today I believe will be an interesting topic.
Yeah.
It is being more real about the reality of things that is happening in the world, and it's something like a personal story lah, today. So I hope you guys will enjoy and take some lessons from here and improve and be better. So so today's topic is basically talking about emotions and social media. So to give a brief context of why this topic is here is basically myself going through a breakup relationship. So with that led to a hurricane of emotions, dealing with a lot of things. And here comes social media. Okay, and that has created somewhat of a more turbulent emotion given what is there in the social media world. So so that is the topic for today. So what's your thoughts on this one?
Uh, I'm glad that whatever that we did, before the birth of any social media, there was no YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and all that. So people nowadays must be very responsible because why responsible is basically you have to be able to respond on what are the things that has been put forth.
Yeah.
Because it didn't come, whatever that comes to us didn't come by accident. It's basically cause and effect that's taking place.
It's our actions that has created that.
Absolutely. But the best thing is that before the cause is done, there is time to think whether we should participate in the causation. That's where I think a lot of people are goofing up in many ways lah. Some years back, I think so, there was a badminton player who didn't do well. Female badminton player. I think there was a politician who actually spoke in a very
Sharp way.
I'm sure everybody knows about it. I don't know whether he meant it or not, but he had the time to think before hitting the send button.
Yeah.
But he sent it out, and the repercussion is huge until he had to say sorry. But see, sorry is too late. The causation, saying sorry to the effect now.
Yeah,
But why cause it in the beginning itself?
Yeah.
Right? I think that is what many people are facing. At times I get caught. I'm not like very involved in social media, so that is a big thing for me because I don't have to think about that part a lot. So
So when it comes to social media, it's interesting because there's especially when someone is going through an emotional event. It can be a breakup, it can be a loss of a family member, it can be anything that is emotionally heavy for that person. Social media, as we know, can be a tool and it can be a weapon also. So there's a few things we have to bear in mind when it comes to this, because social media, as we know, when you use it well, you can connect with people, you can build brands and all that. It's very good. But if you take it from an emotional point of view, if you use it as a tool to heal your wounds, that is when the problem starts, because you'll be fed information that you will feel is right, but then again, who is writing that information? What are you programming into your mind that will create that this is a truth, this is who I am? I've seen many posts like that. This is how you should be, this is how this person will be, this kind of things. So it's not wrong to voice out your opinion. There's nothing wrong in that. You are free to voice out your opinion, like how we are talking in our podcast. There's nothing wrong in that.
Yep.
But I feel there's a thing of also understanding the context of what is being posted there, and whether it fits into your values, and whether you're okay to take 100% responsibility of what you do after that. I've made my share of mistakes, so I'm 100% responsible for that. So that I have to live with whatever I've done. That's something which,
So, a response able to what you have caused.
yes, ideally it should not have happened, but it has happened and I have to live with that responsibility. That this is what has happened. I am 100% accountable to all these things. Now, moving forward, knowing what I know, it is ideal to make sure your emotions are in check before you do anything on social media. Because we know social media is a place where once you put out there, it's there already.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's true. Social media is social media. I think few months back I actually asked you all this question, because for me social media is a very good tool, very good to form us to be righteous. Okay, people might be thinking, what's there righteous about social media? Social media is a great tool if you look at it when it comes to connecting and all that stuff. So as a social creature, now we have this medium for us to communicate and socialize, where the socialization builds a fantastic fabric, right? But now the fabric is being torn.
Yep.
Okay. Now social media is not bad. It's just like a weighing machine. When you go and step on it, it will give you a result. That's it. It's not the weighing machine's fault. It's not the social media's fault. Social media basically takes the content and shares.
Yep.
So, and then if with social media comes the part of commenting and communication, that's when a problem. You know, the worst way to communicate is through words.
Yep.
In law of attraction, we teach words creates thoughts, thoughts creates vibration of feeling, which creates result. Of all the boxes that we teach, in these 4 boxes, the most effective way to communicate is ideally through the vibes. You understand one's feeling and then you have that communication. If you don't pay attention to that, then you have to, by thoughts, you'll have thoughts before you speak it out. The worst way to communicate is through words. And guess what social media uses to communicate? Words. And it is reduced to emojis now. People get upset with emojis also.
Yeah.
If you're in a group, if you have one joker who's someone that you don't like, he puts an emoji for something which comes there, and everybody is okay about that emoji except the person who's having some bad rapport with this person. Bad rapport means now again it's a figment of mind, what was thought in the mind about the person. And this person is the only one who's creating that negative chemical reaction in the body.
Yep.
So come back to social media. Social media is not bad. For me, it's a fantastic training wheel. You know, when you're riding bicycle, you have training wheel.
Yeah.
So it should help us to be a better version of ourselves rather than the other side of it. Many choose the other side of it, right? Because they become keyboard warriors.
Keyboard warriors, the dopamine hit again.
Dopamine hit, stress, cortisol. Okay. Now, let me ask you this question, which I asked a few months ago. I asked, I think, Kavina also. Now, social media is social media. Okay.
Yeah.
Coming from the value, now you are very conscious. Coming from the value, would you deliberately type something very sinister, very sarcastic? Okay. If you can take your social media now, whatever platform you use, type something really nasty. Okay. Think about it. Now, would you send it out?
No.
Why don't you send it out?
Because number one, of course, it will hurt the person or whoever is related, whether it's a general post or what, it will hurt people.
Okay.
Secondly, am I being responsible with that post? Will I be able to deal with the repercussions that comes from that or not?
Okay. So repercussion is the one. So many are concerned about the repercussion. I'm going to send it out. So, but the thing is that they send it out and then the repercussion comes. The effect comes.
Then they're like, shit.
Absolutely. So now you have that moment before sending. So why aren't you sending that out then?
Because we take time and think about it. Okay, I am feeling this emotion. Let's say I'm feeling anger at this moment. I want to type a very nasty message.
Yeah.
I'm going to type that one. But again, as we are typing, then we slowly start to realize, is this really what we want to say or not? Because as we know, when you're angry, there is people who say when you're angry, you tend to voice out your actual emotions.
Yeah.
But then again, when you're angry, you're working on, if I'm correct, cortisol, you're in a fight or flight response. So you do anything either to fight or run away from the situation. After you do that, a good example is when you're driving, someone cuts you off and you honk at the person. At that moment, you'll feel very upset. But after that, you might feel very yucky, like, why did I horn? Maybe I was at fault.
What is that thing that's telling you that?
The conscience.
Conscience, and I feel it's your values that you grow with,
Yeah.
that you brought up with. The values basically brings you down. It's your conscience, right? It says, hey, oops. Majority of the people, if not all, when they send something negative, they feel very yucky.
Yep.
Right? So conscience deep inside says don't. But the mind, which is so loud
And powerful.
and says send it out. But after sending it out, we have a problem. So your value is blocking you from sending it out.
Yep.
When the value is bypassed, short-circuited, it's when we hit the send button.
Yes. And
Right?
then we have the cause and effect that comes.
Absolutely. So social media is not bad at all.
It's the person holding the tool.
Absolutely. So knife can do so many things.
Yeah.
It can either
Cut vegetable.
sharp scalpel can do surgery. It can also kill people.
Yeah. In the
But
wrong hands.
there's no wrong with the knife.
Yeah.
It's just a tool.
Yeah.
Right? So I think, well, I think it is our moral duty to handle this instrument for enhancement of life, not for destruction, right? So how do we go about it? Be conscious before sending it out. So take a breather
Yep.
and ask this question. So everybody who's doing this is basically, if let's say human needs, as per Hiram Smith's book, Three Gaps, he talks about that, this beliefs, values and time. Because it takes for the belief and value, takes time to build, right? Now, what are the human needs? One is to live. Okay, I want to live well. Okay. Another need is to love and to be loved. Accept me. Right?
Belonging. Like a sense of
Belonging, right? Another one is I want to feel important. I'm right, you are wrong.
I said something right.
I said something right. And I think that's happening a lot in the social media side.
Yeah, you are right, I'm wrong.
Yes. And also next one is another need for human being is variety. We always like different things. That's why you see if someone is in a job, Monday to Friday, they're doing the same stuff only. The moment comes Saturday, Sunday, you can see the same person doing variety of things. Waking up in the morning, going for hiking, going for breakfast, and then going for a movie, and then going for shopping. They do everything because they like the variety part. So we all have these needs. So the question is, what needs it is trying to fulfill when we're doing all that stuff,
Yep.
right? So if we feel that we are important, we feel important that I am going to blast the person. That's why cyberbullying comes. When someone comes, oh, I'm right. I feel important. I should send it out. But the person who's taking it there, it's actually going down. And there's a lot of cases of suicide and all that stuff that took place. So the most important thing when we are faced with, number one, don't use social media to post anything bad lah.
Yeah.
Because of the repercussion that comes is really bad.
It goes both ways.
Both ways.
Yeah.
So take some time. If you want to type. But don't send. While typing, measure all your emotion. Okay, let it go. Maybe it's an expressive tool like our Reset app.
Yeah.
The good thing there's no comment at all. You cannot comment back. You just let go. Okay, you type, but don't send it. So how are you going to slow down from sending it? That's where you need to be conscious. Okay, so I like what Vivekananda talks about. It's an amazing saint. In the early 1900s, he spoke about this truth test. I'll share with you the truth test. Anything that you want to send or you want to speak out, in this type out, people are not speaking, they're typing words, right? First thing is, if it strengthens you, it's a nectar, take it. If it weakens you, it's a poison, keep away. So whatever input that you're putting in you, you know whether it's making you strong or weak.
Deep down, you'll have the gut feeling.
Exactly. You feel lousy because it's creating chemical reaction in our body, right? Hormones. Next one. Second truth test is it. If it unites, it's the truth. If it fractures and divides, it's not the truth. See whether it's bringing people together or not. Right? The next one is selflessness is the truth. Selfishness is not the truth. I feel important. What is that? Selfishness. There's no we.
Yep.
So if we can have these three tests, right, before we send anything, we're actually slowing down. before sending. Other tools that we use is that we've been using for the past 14 years, coming to 15 years, is the reset.
Yep.
Reset. So what do I want? Yes, I'm yucky. This person has hurt me. I feel vindicated. I'm upset. Okay, fine. Reset. So what do I want? I want to have a nice cup of coffee and do whatever I need to do. Whatever it is.
Basically, live their life.
Yeah. That is what we call growth mindset, right? So we have these tools. Use the tools. Right? Now, why you use the tools? Because the tools let you to slow down a bit.
Yeah.
Because if you just go in your mind space, thought is faster than light.
Yeah, it's very fast.
You can sit here. If I say Paris, you're in Paris.
Yeah.
You're there before light reaches. You're already there. Before you can see Paris, Paris is in your head. So it's called thought trance. It travels so fast, like electron, right?
Yeah.
So if you're going to figure out things based on your mind space, your thought, you cannot, because it's too fast.
Yeah.
That's why when someone comes to me and have a chat, I tell them, okay, if it's so cloudy inside, take a piece of paper and write. You have a tool. Write it down. When you're writing it down, now you are giving it some space and time. In the reset, what we have is people type. When they're typing and when they're telling the story, it slows down. Now you're putting the clutter in your head too. Because someone is going through a breakup, I'm sure you went through that.
Yeah.
That volatile, like a hurricane,
Of
which was
emotions.
not making sense at all.
Yeah.
But just imagine taking that and just putting it in a social media where it is marketed like crazy. Because it's supposed to amplify. Right? It's supposed to amplify whatever that's being said. So would you want to amplify the truth, or are you willing to amplify the poison, the fracturedness and selfishness?
It comes down to the person also. What is their aim of posting it? Is their aim to hurt someone or to bring down whatever thing is there? Then I believe that's what they will. That is their truth. Now, when it comes to common human sense, again, I believe anyone listening to us today also would agree that deep down you would never want to wish harm to anyone, regardless of what has happened. I don't think so. Anyone wakes up in the morning and say, I want to make sure this person is hurt. I doubt anyone wakes up with that thought.
Can't tell everyone. There could be someone with some disorder.
Yeah.
But for them, again, it's that boils down to the intention, right?
Yeah, it's a challenge they are going through. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we wish them well on whatever they are going through. And yeah, I mean, it also boils down to compulsive nature also. This is like, you get the dopamine hit when you do something. So, social media, again, as we know, the way it's designed, it is designed to give you that small dopamine hits. The way the like button appears when you like, the sound it makes, the color, all that signifies like a dopamine fix for you. So in a way, it is an addiction because you're addicted to that response you get. There are times when I've caught myself also, like, how come I post this, there's not many likes on this, how come? Then I go and search, see why I cannot. Then I go try a different post, still not. It becomes now a chase, why this is not happening. So I've caught myself doing that, and how many others are going through that on a larger scale, those with millions of followers. So it's interesting also. Today morning I was listening to a podcast by Stephen Butler, The Diary of CEO. He was talking about the certainty of unexpected chaos. This was during COVID. He recorded his podcast. So basically he talks about how compulsive we are for all the short gratification we want. So he talked about getting that nice bag, getting the nice car, having that risky relationship with someone, or taking a decision to travel somewhere. He said all that, yes, it's nice to do all that, but at what cost? Is buying something, let's say buying a Gucci bag, yes, it's nice to buy, but that $1,000 you're spending could have gone into another investment you could have invested in, could have grown your business. Having a risky relationship with someone, the consequences, you might have a baby out of that. That is dangerous. So why not? Why avoid? Why do that? Better avoid. Next is traveling somewhere where you can again you can always save the money and do that. So he talked about actually uh, looking at your net worth and see whether whatever you're gonna do, will that affect your net worth or not, and also the values that you have instilled, will it affect or not. So today I sat down and actually did what I heard from the podcast,
Good.
calculating the net worth, and I realized there's a lot of things to work on.
Good.
It's a scary reality because not many people actually realize the actions of, the consequences of our actions. Now, there's nothing wrong in going and spending time and having fun. There's nothing wrong in that. But the intention of why are you going to go and have fun? Why are you spending this money? Why are you doing this action with someone? Why are you doing this? I think that boils down to that, the intention of what you're doing. Similar to making the social media post. Are you doing it to shed light on a truth that may benefit people, or are you doing it to basically harm someone or to put you in the right? Okay, but again, there's no one is right, no one is wrong. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. The question is it benefiting the greater good or not?
Back to the truth test, right?
Yeah.
Strengthens, unites, selflessness.
Yes.
Right? Like what you said, go, buy stuff for myself. Selfishness or selflessness?
That is selfish.
So when you look at all that, if we can just, why this truth test, why we're talking about this, it's just that we need to slow down a bit. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, people are very compulsive in hitting the send button because they want to feel important. I've sent it.
To the point now they'll measure, okay, at what time I'll get the most number of views.
Exactly. Why? Because they want to feed, like we say, dopamine. It's basically the ego. They say, then your importance gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then when you get bigger, everyone becomes smaller and smaller and smaller.
And you become the universe and your problems becomes the biggest thing.
Yeah.
But in reality, we are just one tiny speck in the entire universe.
Absolutely. But look at the other trillions of galaxies and universe that's out there that we don't know. Now bring that all together, how small are we?
Very, very small.
Very small, right? So here, we are trying to tell our issue is the biggest issue. When you look at the world, there's bigger issues than all of us. That's why, when you hear someone who's going through tougher thing without comparing, you feel humbled.
Yeah.
Right? So that is something I feel we just need to slow down. The social media is something, like what you said, why it's so addictive? Because the programmers and the psychologists who sits together, the people understands this dopamine cycle, and they want to keep you locked into that device because that's where they can put advertisements. So that you will go and buy, because that's where you are more driven to go and buy something. Now, people are not looking at billboards. People are looking at the phone. Online shopping and all the things are all in the phone, and people are spending more. So, economically, it's where you're supposed to be for the corporates, right? But is that what you want to do? You want to always take out money, right? To buy, because that's the whole idea, they're keeping you there.
Yep.
With all this, buffering, in YouTube, it's designed where you scroll down, it buffers. That buffering gets dopamine to come because you're waiting for what's going to come, because it's uncertain what's going to come. The uncertainty gets you excited. And basically analytics runs it. Couple of months ago, I met someone who was so naive, who said, God is amazing. When I was watching something and then something positive, and then next thing, similar things started coming. It's just amazing. The universe is giving me and all that. I was just sitting there for a while. Then I couldn't take it. I just said, hello, it's called analytics.
Yeah, the algorithm is giving more of that.
Yeah, that's it, right?
Yeah.
So whatever that you're consuming, that's what you're going to get.
Yeah.
So just imagine you are driven to that. There's a nice documentary in Netflix. If someone wants, they can go and watch, called Social Dilemma. Long time ago it was aired. It became very popular. How we are basically, it's like we are wearing our own VR. Basically your phone is your VR now. Now the VR is already a big thing with the Apple's what's it, Vision Pro.
Yeah, a Vision Pro.
Yeah, it's out. So all that. So we are living in a VR, right? From our normal VR, which is our eyes and our senses, now it is becoming even smaller. We are just confined to our eyes, right? It's not touching the senses and all that. And we are making sense of the world based on that. So we need to be able to know that, okay, social media is there. We can use it to work for us, okay? Or it's out to get you,
Yeah.
right? So who's getting whom is the winner lah. So very important for those who are listening, when you're using a social media, use it as a tool,
Yep.
right? Not as something that you want to portray you are the biggest, right? Because end of the day, there will be comments that will come. So the bigger your ego, the more dense you'll have,
Yep.
right? Rather than reading all the good, there could be
100,
1,000 good things and maybe 3 bad things. The mind toss into the 3 bad things.
Yep.
Because the mind always looks for like and attack,
Yep.
right?
The fight or flight.
Fight or flight. Like or attack because it wants to keep you safe. The brain says, okay, let's look at the RAS picks up that because I want to keep you safe.
Which
I
is a
think they're
natural
attacking.
tendency for us.
Yes.
But because of social media, that now is in hyperdrive.
Absolutely.
Constantly you're checking.
Yeah, it's not the social media. You are checking. It is your program that's
Habit,
making you to go and do.
It's the habit.
Yeah, social media doesn't open the phone and say, hello, look at this. Hello,
This is the top
look
3
at
worst comments.
this. Yeah, they don't do that.
Yeah.
The person who's searching for it is us. And that's where the compulsion comes. So why not chill for a while? Put it aside. Okay, go for a run. Okay, go and do some work.
Go do
Don't
some
worry.
gardening. Yeah.
Social media will do its work. There'll be more posting will come. Don't worry about it. Let it build up. Let it build up. Let it build up. Doesn't really matter. You build your neurons. You build your neuroplasticity. The psyche. Go do stuff. That's the most important thing. So rather than coming back and getting, right? These are what you call, we are making a reaction to be bigger. When you're so reactive, you don't see the opportunity in front of you.
Yeah.
We spoke about this like when I went to Vipassana, that's what Goenkaji was talking about. He was talking about how the consciousness that comes, it's being filtered through our senses, our 5 senses in our mind, 6, right? So we now we are perceiving things, and now it's going into our memory base, and over there it's actually evaluating good or bad. With that evaluation, it's giving you sensation.
Correct.
That sensation now, either it's good or bad. Based on that, we react. Either we hate it, aversion, okay, we want to move away, or we like it, we cling on to it, we crave. So either way, we are having some kind of reaction taking place. Now, if let's say whatever that's coming to us and it's keep going in, that reaction will start building. Until so much so whatever that we are perceiving doesn't make sense already. We don't see what's in front of us already. An example, someone that you like comes to you, when they talk, you give all your attention to them.
Yeah.
And then they'll slowly become, negative. They start giving you all that blah, blah, start collecting. And then now after a few months, the same person, or maybe after a few years, now this person really, really messed you up already. Really cheated you, whatever, right? And 10 years has passed, right? Now the same person is coming in front of you, turn a new leaf, having a wonderful life, okay? Best human being possible. Same person comes. Are you seeing the same person as they are, or are you seeing the person as they were?
You'll definitely see the person as they were, because you already have the memory files there already.
Exactly.
Immediately, without even thinking, as a split second, this person did this to me.
Straight away, right? Yeah. Many times it has happened, right?
Yeah.
We go into that. That's the ego coming to protect us. That's reactive. So when we are coming from the reaction part, our perception is messed up.
That person could be coming to tell you that, I've repented, I've changed, I want to lead a new life, I want to bury the headset.
Yeah.
But when you come with that mindset of, no, this person did this to me and all that, you will either avoid them, or you might yell at them and walk away.
Absolutely.
And they'll be confused like what just happened.
Exactly. So when the reaction becomes huge, your perception becomes small, your cognition. Now the whole idea is take some time, process your emotions. However bad it is, you process your emotion. Let it come and go, right? And so that the reaction now goes down, your perception gets bigger now. That's the whole idea. Because at perception level, right, it's all okay. Only at the reactive level is where there's basically I'm getting what I want or I'm not getting what I want. That's why it's called the fruition part. There's reward only at the reaction part. But if you can diminish that, slowly there's no more reward in that. Perception gets bigger. So you tend to see the person comes, hi, how are you? Okay, it's in Vipassana they say it's basically, hey, my old friend is back. Right? You don't have to be angry. My old friend is back. Just look, hello.
It's like you're meeting them for the first time again.
Absolutely, because your reaction is. But just imagine every day when the person is not there, but still towing and let the machine to run, feeding that program, that vicious cycle. That reaction will get bigger and bigger. And the worst part, that person is not in front of you, but you're building it up, you're building it up, you're building it up. You're building your monsters. Every time when you're reacting, there's chemical reaction in your body.
Yeah.
So that's why they say a definition of being angry with someone is you drinking the poison
Expecting
and
them to die.
expecting them to die.
Yeah.
It's literally that, because when we are angry, we are the one having that chemical reaction. Cortisol comes out and they are all potent stuff. And we keep putting it. That's why a lot of people have mental health challenges, because it is something, even your mind runs, there's no sound. Have you realized there's no sound like
Nothing, but you
Nothing.
can see things going in the sequence of events.
You can see it, but no sound. Brilliant, right? No sound at all. Okay, but if something wrong with your hand or what, it started twitching, can you see?
Yeah.
What you do, you can put it in control because people are seeing.
Or hold.
You'll hold it. But the mind, if let's say it's visible, just imagine.
You will be a tornado for everyone. Not
Everyone will hold their head maybe, or wherever the mind is, right? It's all over the body.
yeah.
So this is something that it's a fantastic faculty given through evolution, right? So we need to work together with it. All of us have issues. Yours is your breakup that you're going through. I have my own issues on looking at anxiousness. I've spoken about my white coat hypertension. Everybody have their own stuff.
Yep.
The question is, are we learning from it or is it controlling? Right? So if stress, anxiety is something good. Everybody looks at it as a bad thing only. More and more studies are coming where if you are able to know it is coming there to help you, then it's good.
Yep.
But don't hold on to it for a long period of time.
It will eat you up.
Exactly. So if you're going to be stressed up for a while, like you're going to go and speak, right? Heartbeat goes up. Use it to get excited. Go, and then once you are at the sweet spot, all will settle.
Yep.
Right?
It's interesting also because we talk about compulsive one, right? We are like reacting to that emotions we are going through. Let's say, for example, you're feeling anxious because, let's say, for example, you were talking to someone and then you have to cut off the conversation completely and leave from that. Now, the anxiety of, okay, what if that person meets me again in the future? What will they tell her? Why did you? In actual fact, no one really cares.
Absolutely.
Because the decision you made to cut off whoever in your, let's say, for example, starting a new leaf, whatever in your past you decide to cut off immediately, if you're going to go back and worry about it, that means you haven't fully cut off.
Yeah.
You're still harboring emotions on that. But if you choose to cut off and don't really care about, not to say don't really care, it's like letting it be. Letting it be, okay, this, whoever was in that era of my life is done. Okay, I put them there, now I'm going to move forward. If they're going to come back in the future, that is something to deal with at that time, not to worry about now. Because if you're going to worry about whatever's about to happen or not going to happen, you don't know, you're going to create more anxiety. That's going to feed into your emotions, and at the end of the day, you're going to make compulsive decision because you're trying to protect something that may or may not happen.
Yeah.
And again, it affects your health also.
Absolutely.
You will start to lose appetite. You start to, not sleep properly. Your mental well-being will be affected also, because when you lack of sleep, your mind runs. When your mind runs, you feel tired. When you're tired, your body can't cope with the stress of running the scenarios in your mind. It's a vicious cycle.
Yep.
And I think from what I have went through, to all the listeners here, is, if you know what you're doing is not right, stop it immediately, let go of it, and if the repercussions were to come back to you, deal with it at that time. You will go through anxiety. I'm not denying that. I go through that also, the worry of what if it comes back. But that is a worry for a later time and date. Right now, I have other things to worry about, more important things to think about. How am I going to help this person who has come into my life now? Someone who's looking at me to help. So if I'm going to help this person, if I'm going to make a change in their life, I need to be okay. I need to be ready and stable enough to help them. And that can be anyone. It can be your family members, it can be your coaching clients, it can be your friends, anyone that comes into your life at this point of time when you have turned over and you leave. They are put in there they're put in your path for a reason. Now, whether you like what Appa mentioned, whether you're going to take it as a lesson or not, that's totally up to you. But given what I know, what I've gone through, the past things that I've done, I think when we had this conversation on turn 26, the realization of whatever I've done, although things happen, the realization is that there's a lot of things for me to learn. Yes, 26, brain fully leveraged and very good. But truth is, the world is just a percentage of what we know. We know what we know, but the amount of things that we don't know in the world is a lot. A lot of things we don't know. Now the question is, whether are we going to take the path that matches our value or the path that matches our compulsive decisions, the dopamine hits.
Absolutely. And for you to know your values, you need to give it some time.
Definitely, yeah.
Because most of us are basically operating from our reptilian brain, which is hardwired to fight or flight. So why we need to give some time is let the signal to go to the limbic part and give more time to go to the neocortex part. That's why time is needed, right? Because when it goes from the reptilian to limbic, because these are the progression of from the old brain to a newer brain to the newest brain, right? It's growing, and that's why that's where you can make that executive decisions, which comes from consciousness. So we have this ability as human being to do that. You were saying about the emotion and all that. If the person pops up, we have to deal at that time. It's easier said than to be done.
Definitely.
Because you have to process now.
Yeah.
Now, how you're processing is the most important thing. Now, when you're processing, some people basically get busy.
Yep.
Maybe they're not addressing that issue, they get busy. Fine. The most important thing, you're getting things done. So get busy. Some people get into that. Some people might go into alcohol, addiction, this and that. All these are trying to forget the thing without address the pain. But it's there. Okay. While I think the best way to deal with it is you need to address it. Okay. You need to be able to let the feeling come and let it go. You need to process. Find ways. Meditation helps. There are ways of, if you need to go and get some help, talk to a therapist, go and get, because there are certain things beyond, or go for a retreat where,
Total disconnect from the
world. Where, when I went for my 10 days retreat, it just opened up a new door. There's no tools, nothing. But at least, when that feeling which is embedded so deep inside, you don't know when and where it came from. When it comes, it's kind of overwhelming. In the past, when it comes, I basically shut it down, not letting it pass through. So all this need to be done. So this is where you can actually bring down the reaction that I spoke about, so that the perception gets bigger. So in future, when you see that person, it will be more on perception rather than reaction.
Yep.
But if we don't do that, this thing will always come hunting.
The trigger response will be always there.
Yes. So we need to be able to clear that, take time. So the best way is don't go back to those old habits again.
Yeah.
Because when it comes, because of the reactive mind, immediately goes into that and gets locked. That's why when someone is an addict, okay, they say, oh, I'm not an addict anymore. The best way to keep away from craving is you need to keep the trigger away from you. It must be invisible.
Yes. Or substitute it with something else that triggers something positive.
Yes, that's choice architecture.
Yes.
Right? So that's smart swap. You do that. So it's a lot of work.
Yep.
Because just imagine a giant flywheel is spinning. Okay, it's spinning, and you are trying to go and stop immediately. A train is coming. It's coming, and you're going to stand in front. I'm going to stop.
It will not work.
Okay, the train will only stop in front of you if it hits the brake long ago.
Yeah. Easily,
Right?
maybe 1 kilometer away.
Absolutely. That's for that inertia to slow down. So similarly, whatever that's running, take it as that it's fast. You can. So that's why you can be thinking positive.
Yep.
As I said, your thought is faster than light. So you can change your thoughts. Okay, I'm feeling yucky now. So what do I want? I want to be positive. But somehow, your emotion doesn't follow suit.
Your body will be feeling, what is this guy telling?
Yeah. And you're still feeling yucky.
Yep.
Okay? So now you must understand thoughts can switch very fast. It's like clouds passing. It'll just pass. Don't worry about it. It'll just come. But emotion now it actually has gone. It's created chemical reaction and it's gone to your blood vessels, to your muscles and all that. So it has the residual hormones, the chemicals inside.
Yep.
It's all there. So for the chemicals to go away, it'll take time. That's why you let it go and do something. So repeated positivity is very important because you're putting it back, you're calming it down, After a while, your emotion comes normal. Then your body is back to normal.
Then you can make a proper decision.
Absolutely. So it takes time. You can't just go with your thoughts. Oh, okay, fine. I'm going to hit or not. Give yourself some time. Don't just hit your brain. Just go, take a deep breath. Do the truth test that I was sharing with you by what Vivekananda, Swami Vivekananda was sharing. Very powerful. And many people have shared in a different way, right? So choose what works. I use this. It helps. Reset helps me. Okay. And being in my age now, we are slower in, when we speak, we are careful. We are more conscious. The youngsters need to pay attention. You need to be slowing down. So if you like slowing down, stay connected with us because we are all about asking you all to slow down because slowing down is how you actually can go fast.
Yes, like I think the US Navy SEALs, right?
Yeah. Fast is slow is smooth.
Yeah.
So remove all the resistance, like all the feedbacks that comes, negative ones, hits you back, right? It's basically you're looking at it and it's creating more anger. What you do, respond back, right? So I also got one message. I said, I'm not going to respond at all. What's the point of responding? I'm giving life to it again.
Yeah.
Right? So is it a nectar or a poison? If it's a poison, I'm going to keep it away.
Same thing with like cutting off, like example, contact with people who deep down you mean it's nice to chat with them, but at the same time deep down there's something not right.
Yeah.
It's not them, it's your emotions. You are going through that chemical reaction. So if you have to cut off and start a new life from that, total disconnect from who you were before to lead a better life, then by all means you have to do that.
Yeah.
Because maybe whatever things you have collected from there, from whatever you've gone through, you've collected. At one point, it'll spill over. And when it spills over, will it be a good spillover or bad spillover?
Absolutely.
So rather than if you've collected bad things and you feel it's going to spill over, might as well put a stop to it.
Yeah.
Just let it be. Don't have to worry about what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because you're doing this for yourself.
Yeah.
In this case, you have to be selfish. But at the same time, by you doing that, the people around you are actually benefiting from this.
Yep.
Because the change you are making, or let's say the things that you have done before you made the change, you may feel it's right, you like what you're doing. But at what cost? What are you sacrificing in that? You could be sacrificing your family, your friends, your values. You could be sacrificing all of that for what? 10 minutes of fun,
Yeah.
which is not right. That's not supposed to happen. So that's a realization I had.
So the 10 minutes fun is compulsive, right?
Yes, it's definitely a compulsive
If
decision.
taken some time,
You'll be like, no, maybe I should not do that. That's not who I am. I should not do that. So, given what I know,
but if the environment is such that it's pulling you, how you?
you have to step out of the environment. You have to. By all means, if you know deep down your gut is telling you don't do that, get out of that place. Or find someone you can rely on and tell them, I'm going through this, I need help.
It's a support system.
A support system. As much as we want to be independent and say, oh, I can do this on my own, all that, we all need someone to talk to. We need a sounding board. And if you don't have that sounding board, please find one sounding board, because we as I mentioned, we know what we know. A lot of things we don't know. So your sounding board may be able to shed some light on a decision you're about to make or a decision you have done, on what it could lead to. They may not necessarily have done it before, but they could have the bigger picture of this may not end well, or this may end well, keep doing. That kind of thing. So, and the second thing, if you know an environment is not good, don't go there in the first place. Don't go there. Yeah, if you have a strong sounding board, they'll be able to advise you. Okay, you're not ready. Don't go.
But the problem is, people don't share this kind of
Yes,
stuff that they want to do for their own selfishness.
yes.
They don't
And
share.
because of that, the repercussion comes, and everyone else is affected.
Similar to social media posting, right?
Yes.
Selfishness.
Yep.
I want to send it out. And then, oh, damn, I've sent it out. And at the moment you hit the send button, you're like,
Oh shit.
that's it.
Gone.
That's
And,
it.
and
The whole
yeah,
thing gone.
I've seen that firsthand.
Yeah.
Of the decisions I have made.
Yeah.
And yeah, I am, like what I mentioned at the start of the podcast, I am 100% responsible
Yep.
for the decisions I made. Why? Because I didn't share. I thought I knew everything.
Yeah.
So when that happened, then only it hit me like, okay, there's, as much as I want to say I know everything, there's a lot of things I don't know.
Yep.
So best keep it to a minimum to whatever I'm gonna do. Seek advice. Seek I don't know what's that word. No. What do you call when you meet someone and you ask for advice? It's
Counsel.
counsel. You get counsel, and then you evaluate whether there's something you want to do. Because now you have reference points. Before this, it's only a one level reference points, which is my own one, which is catered to my needs. The mind will work such that, don't worry lah, just do it. Nothing will happen. This is what you want, right? Do it. That's what will run in the mind. But when you have a second level of advice or reference, now that will contradict to what you're thinking. So you may be thinking that, okay lah, don't worry, just do it. But the second level will be like, are you sure you want to do that or not? Because this will not end well. You sure or not? Just don't go down this path. Now that you will start I wouldn't say a war within yourself, but it will create a debate.
Red dog and the white dog.
Yes.
Normally, red dog wins.
Or red apparition, or depending on what
Yeah.
you believe in. So that will create a thing where you'll start processing these two inputs now. Whether what is true. Now, getting that is good. Next comes the important, from my point of view, the important step. Deciding which path to take.
That's why you're actually doing it.
Yes. So if you still feel whatever you thought, that first level you thought is right, and you still do, be ready for the repercussions. Be ready for that. As much as you want to deny and say, no, I'm okay, and all that, deep down you know what you did. Deep down I
The
know.
consequence will always speak the truth.
Yes, deep down I know the things that has happened, and I am not happy with what has happened. It is a big wake-up call for me to realize that, okay, this is not right. I'm hurting more than helping. So
in the truth test, it was a failure.
first one itself, it's a failure. So that's something which, again, what's done is done. I have to live with that consequence and the awareness of what has happened. That I have to admit. That is something which I have to be accountable to. Lah. Now, moving forward, an advice to all the listeners: find someone you can talk to. It can be your family, it can be your friend, someone who can offer counsel and actually, give you 2 cents of thought that could be worth millions. They always tell me, let me give you my 2 cents. Now, knowing what I know, that 2 cents actually can be worth millions. Because of that 2 cents, you would have made a decision that would have changed the trajectory of your life. That itself, I feel, is a very, very valuable thing to have. Of course, the first level of counsel is your family. That's the number one counsel you can go and talk to. Second is, of course, your friends. But again, you have to know who you're talking to. What these friends bring to the table. You have to be also careful with that also. Now, if you have friends who are aware of what you're doing and they're able to say, no, don't do this, you're not, they are not going down a right path, they'll be able to shed some light on that. These friends, I believe, can give you a very good input. Because again, family can only share that much. Friends also can share certain much. But again, end of the day, it comes back down to what decision are you going to take? What am I going to do based on the input I've got? Am I going to do something that's going to bring me temporary joy? Or am I going to do something that's going to give me a lifelong satisfaction? That is something which I've learned in the recent times. That
So the key element is time lah.
time, it's always time. Also, another thing I've realized is that the compulsiveness can be very overwhelming when it comes to this, because as much as you give it time, the more idle you are. There's a saying that an idle mind is a devil's workshop. If you sit down and you say, okay, I'll give it time, I don't do this now, let me give it time. Good, you're doing that. But what are you doing during that giving time moment? Are you sitting down and thinking about
Doing it.
or are you sitting down and doing other work? That's the thing I realized also. The moment you're idle, not doing anything, that's when the devil comes. And they'll start creeping in like, just do it lah, nothing will happen. Nothing will happen, it's what you want, right? It's going to give you joy. Do it lah. That kind of thing will come. And when that comes, if you have someone with you, talk to them. Tell them. If not, call. That's something which, again, I wish I did, given what has happened. But again, now I know. If that thought comes, call, talk to someone and say, I'm going through this, need your help, need your counsel on this. And we have to be okay with receiving the counsel, because sometimes it may not be sweet, the counsel. It'll be very, very eye-opening, because that person genuinely cares about you. So they will tell you in a way that will knock some sense into you. So whether you want to take it and learn from it or you don't want, that's again up to you. But trust me when I say this, when you ask for counsel and you don't follow that, repeatedly you do that, your counsel will walk away. That I know very well. They will walk away and say, this person is gone. They are not going to listen to me. Let them do what they want. That's what I realized.
Absolutely. So, compulsion lah.
Yeah.
Yeah, get busy doing things that will pass the truth test.
Yeah.
That's the only thing, right?
Yeah.
And that's why social media, when we started, it's about social media. It is a fantastic tool to make you to be doing righteous things.
Yep.
So social media, for me, if you follow in that, it's a good tool, right? It's actually shaping you to be a better person.
Correct.
Right? So why not we use this as a gym to be a better person? Use social media to make us a better person.
Yeah.
Rather than making us a broken person, right? So from now, everyone should just be, be very righteous in what they're putting. It should be nectar. It should unite. It should be selflessness. Share things. See, the thing about positivity and being on the selflessness doesn't get you that many likes.
No.
Because people out there are more people in fight or flight.
They crave
who like,
negativity.
they crave. They like clinging, craving, and all that. So they wouldn't want to engage, but it doesn't really matter. You just put it out. The best part is this: you won't get the repercussion that that you get with the negative things.
Yes.
Okay, you will get less thumbs up, but at least people won't be whacking you. If they tell also, they will, if they are putting something positive in a negative way, it doesn't really matter. They have to live with it, right? So I think that is the thing. My message to parents is that create safe environment for the kids to come and actually have a conversation, because we really don't know what they're going through. And what I have experienced is that from a lot of studies out there, the brain takes around 25 to 26 years to fully grow. That's based on science. Okay, don't quote me, go and do your own reading. So if that's the case, it is a tall order for parents to be supporting factor in their life until things finally make that connection, the final connection. So I hope yours made connection, Krishna.
Yeah.
Okay, when you're having this conversation, you just turned 26 couple of week ago, I guess.
Yeah, around there.
Around a week ago, and we're having this conversation is interesting. So the most important thing is that parents have, if you're having kids, well, you have decided to have a kid. Hopefully it's not accident, right? But the moment they come into your life, you have at least 24 to 26 years of real important work to get
care
them
for
through.
another life.
Yeah, the 0 to 7 is the most important
It's a very
time,
important
hypnotic time. We've met so many people where they don't even know why their life is like that. Basically, it's what happened in their childhood. So as a child, the child has no choice. They have to live in that environment. But parents have a choice to make that environment be amazing. So my take on parenting is make sure you have a safe space. If you didn't pay attention to your first 7 years of your child, if you are a young parent, you have all the time for your 0 to 7 with your kid to be very, very progressive, with love, compassion, teach them all the good things, and they'll come up to be an amazing kid. So that is very important. And I'm a believer of karma. So whatever the person is going through, whatever you're going through, whatever I'm going through, there is
karmic
imprint that we all need to work on. So think about it. We have accumulated, if you believe, accumulated massive historical data. It's in the cloud. It's bigger than what we're going through.
Yep.
And we're trying to sort it out. Perhaps we're doing some righteous thing, it gets burned. But there's abundance, keeps coming back, keeps coming back. So don't worry about it. There's abundance of it. Okay. Hopefully we're at the tail end. But majority, I don't think so, right?
Yep.
So we have to address it and keep moving forward and enjoy the moment. Again, take your time. Process. Fire up all the three brains.
Seek counsel.
And make the right decision and act on it. Right? Not sit idle like what you said.
Yeah.
Act on something good.
Yes.
Get busy.
Something that passes the truth test.
Yes. We can leave the truth test in the show notes maybe. People can just look at it. It's a good thing. We all need to have, and use the Reset app. For me, I use Reset app to slow down things. In the last get-together we had with the Zappers, it was amazing on how, while the points are high, so are they, the way they are looking at things now. So that's amazing. So, yeah.
So, it's an interesting topic today. I think this sheds more light onto the reality of life, actually. The being human part. The being human part. Now, most important is what are we going to do moving forward? And the question comes to me also, what am I going to do moving forward? And on how we can add value to people's life. And at the end of the day, we are human creature. There's no point of fighting each other. Seriously, there's no point of fighting. Well, then again, that's your choice on what you want to do with your life. There's nothing wrong in that. You can choose what you want to do. And we just wish you well. That's the end of the day. We just wish you well. We just wish the well for you. And yeah, again, when it comes to whatever decision you want to make, regardless whether it's social media or life decision, sit down and think about it first. Do you really, really want to do that, or is it for temporary joy? If you ask me, from my experience, temporary joy will not benefit you in any way. For that
True.
moment, yes. In the long term, no. You're going to live with that emotion. And that's something which, trust me, you do not want that. You do not want to carry that weight with you.
Absolutely.
So, yep.
Basically, we don't put ourselves as the most important people in this world.
Yeah,
lah.
we are not.
That's selfishness, so selfless. The moment we know that, then we'll stop hurting other people. Especially in social media stuff that goes with cyberbullying and all that stuff. It is something did not happen. So my hope is that use social media as a fantastic training wheel for self. Just like gym is there, you go and build muscle. You don't go there to hurt yourself, to put the weight on your toes. That's never the intention. You want to go and build muscle. So go into social media to build your righteousness muscle, right? And everything will become good in our life. How we know? You will not get messages that's coming and haunting. Because why? Because it didn't hurt anyone.
Yeah.
I think that's what we need to do.
Yeah.
And I think I need to finalize on the AI to OI program, because it's hurting a lot of people out there on the compulsion. So let's see where it goes.
Yes, so that's something which we'll talk in another episode, AI to OI. So that is the end for today's podcast. I think we had a really good chat on the repercussions of being compulsive and social media, and basically dealing with your emotions. That's a lot of things we have to look at. So again, I wish everyone well, and looking forward for the next podcast. We'll be recording soon. And as usual, please leave a review of the podcast and what you thought about today's topic. And if there's any other topic you want to hear us talk about, please feel free to suggest in the comments. Please follow on Spotify and subscribe on YouTube. And please share this with your friends. I believe today's topic will actually benefit a lot of people, as for our other topics as well. Please share with those who you believe will benefit from our topics. And looking forward for the next podcast.
Sure. Looking forward, everyone. Take care. Bye.
Bye.